Hello, everybody. My name is Clantis, and welcome to the Clantis Dumaguta podcast. So, without further ado, let's get into today's video. I want to make this video a little bit light, almost like fun. I don't know if I'll be able to deliver that because I don't want to talk about anything that is too heavy. However, though, since the African diasporans are visiting South Africa, so I thought, why don't I do a video about culture shocks that you may come across in this country. Some of them will make you go, huh? Others will be like, that is interesting, or whatever it is, the reaction that you may have, because one of the things that I pay attention to when I am hanging out with my African American brothers and sisters when they come to South Africa is when they come across a certain culture shock. One of the culture shocks that they always have is when we go out. Let's say we are going to, to a groove. We're going to a groove somewhere in Sandton or Fourways, and then we just enter into this establishment without paying a cent. They're like, the question is, did we pay anything at the gate? I'm like, no, we just entered. We're like, in America, this will never happen. You have to pay a fee and then pay to drink and do all the stuff that you have to do inside. And I'm like, well, here, free entrance, and then once you get inside, then you start spending your money. And most of the things that I've also noticed, which is a culture shock to many African American brothers and sisters of mine that I have hung out with, is that the drinks, the shock on their faces when they see the bill, that it is no more than $20 for all the drinks that they have had. It is priceless to watch. So I thought, hey, let me do a culture shock video and basically shock you even more, and probably even convince you, if you're not convinced, about coming to South Africa as an African diasporan. Because, like I said, to some extent, with other African Americans and other diasporans, that with the pound or with the US dollar or the Canadian dollar, you can stretch it as far as you can. Literally, the last group of African Americans that I hung out with this past week, they had thousands of rands left. They didn't know what to do with these thousands of rands. So we were like, hey, okay. So they were sharing with me when I met them at the airport to say goodbye that they literally were giving away this money. They couldn't carry it with them to the US, so they would tip a waiter 1,000 rand. They would tip a barman another 1,000 rand until all this money was spent. And now they were living with no South African rands in their purses, which I found that to be very interesting because of the culture shock that they experienced. Like, oh my goodness, everything here is so inexpensive. We are going to deal with all of that in this video. But first things first, the culture shock, probably you are going to, not even probably, you are definitely would come across something like this. What we call this, we call it a robot. Y'all call it a traffic light. Now, to us South Africans, anything that operates on its own, yes, we know that there are technicians that come and maintain and set the time and all of that. But the fact of the matter is it operates on its own, and therefore it is a robot, right? Then the other culture shock, probably you have heard this many a times before, but I see that the meaning behind it is misconstrued. Load shedding. Now, load shedding, it is not total blackout all across the country. No, it's not blackout everywhere. It is a small portion. Let's say Johannesburg. Johannesburg has how many cities? Okay, even in a city, even in the Johannesburg city alone, you would find that downtown Johannesburg, and not all of downtown Johannesburg, will go off. Because somewhere in Rosebank, while downtown Johannesburg is off, somewhere in Rosebank, maybe half of Rosebank will also be off, and another half of Sandton will be off, and another half of, let's say, Campton Park will be off. Not everywhere. Like, there's a switch that goes down and goes all black for everybody. No, it's portions that will rotate, that will take turns. The first 2 hours from 8 to 10, let's say it's going to be half of Campton Park, and then half of downtown Johannesburg, another half of Rosebank, half of probably even Pretoria at the same time, and then 12 to 2 another area that was on during the first 2 hours when the other parts of the city were off. And same goes all across the countries. One part of a city will be off, another part will be on, and then they will keep swapping like that until the 24 hours is over. It is not blackout where we are all twiddling our thumbs for 2 hours and hoping for the lights to come back. The lights do come back. And the other thing that you will also appreciate is that we do have an app that will warn you that during this time and this time, lights will be off. So that is when you start preparing your devices, that my phone must be fully charged, my laptop must be fully charged, and you have your inverter, if you have your inverter that is fully charged, or any other devices that you may have, or better yet, cook early and prepare whatever it is that you want to prepare before the lights go out for 2 hours. Again, there are different levels or stages where the load shedding happens. There's level 4, that is 2 hours, level 6, that is about 4 hours. But right now, we are just 2 hours of load shedding, which is something that I still can't get used to for real. And it has made a lot of South Africans extremely angry. So another thing that is an advantage about load shedding is that it gives us some time to breathe. For example, if I'm at work and we are so busy and then lights go out and my building doesn't have a generator or a backup. So for that 2 hours, guess what we are doing? Me, I like meditating. I sit still and I meditate. I use that time sometimes even to read, sometimes to create the YouTube videos or research YouTube videos using my cell phone data and things like that. But let me tell you something, if you are at home, it is the best time to sit down with your family, sit down with your husband and your wife, if it's just the two of you, and enjoy spending time together during that 2 hours. So there is some silver lining, even though it is an irritating, this thing called load shedding. So the third culture shock is in your bathroom. I noticed that American bathrooms have the light switch inside the bathroom and other electrical outlets. They are in the bathroom, not in South Africa. In most cases, you'll find the light switch to the bathroom outside or next to the door to the bathroom. Or you'll find it all together located somewhere else where you'll have to switch it on from that part to the bathroom. So my bathroom is in my bedroom. This is my bathroom right there. And my light switch is not in the bathroom anyway, in the bathroom. But this is where you'll find it, right here. The second button. So let me show you so you can see what I'm talking about. So if you focus the camera to the bathroom and I switch on from, if I switch on the second button, as you can see, it's not in the bathroom. The electrical outlets, you'll find them all over the house. Could be in the living room, could be in the bedroom, could be in the passageway sometimes. If you're a lady and you need to dry your hair after bathing, well, your electrical outlets, you're going to find them outside of the bathroom. Which kind of makes sense to us because when the bathroom is steamed and you have all these electrical stuff going on there, what if you get shocked? Or you make a mistake and you put your hair dryer, for example, God forbid, it falls into the bathtub while you are in there. You are fried, right? So to prevent all of those dangers, everything is on the outside of the bathroom. I'm talking about electrical outlets and light switches. The fourth culture shock that you will come across is car guards. So if you drive into a mall, shopping center, office park of some sort, no, not office park, maybe even on the streets, you'll find people wearing bibs that indicate to you that they are there to guard your car. So basically, guarding your car is a peace of mind as a vehicle owner because, believe it or not, there are people that break into your vehicles looking for valuables. That is why it's very important that when you are driving in South Africa, the first things first, the rule that is number one, when you leave the airport and you are carrying bags, do not put them on the passenger seats, whether in front or at the back. Put them in the boot. We call the trunk boot. Put everything there so that Somebody, when you stop at a traffic light, which we call robots, do not see that you have some valuables like a purse or a bag or something on the passenger seat, whether in front or in the back, because there's this thing called smash and grab. You just break into your window, grab that valuable, and off they are gone. So some things of this nature as well do happen when you are parked outside of a building. Maybe you're going for an appointment to a doctor or a lawyer or whatever the case might be. You would appreciate seeing a car guard there, because in most cases, these car guards, believe it or not, they are connected with these people that break into people's cars. Because if you're not going to pay them, they'll mark you. Next time when you come, you'll come back with your wheels probably gone, or something in your car has been stolen. Why? Because you did not give them a tip the last time they came. So tip them, because that is another way of job creation as well. That's also another way of you getting the peace of mind when you go into a building or a store and then you come back and your car is still intact. The fifth culture shock, this one may upset African Americans or Americans for that matter, but as South Africans, you'll be strong. Braai, not barbecue. When you are in South Africa, please don't say barbecue. That's not a barbecue. It's a braai. You are at a braai. You are doing a braai. You are eating a braai. That is not a barbecue. It's open flames with our meat on. And I could even go as far as saying that meat in South Africa is actually a culture as well, because everything that we eat, there is going to be meat on the plate. I grew up, my next door neighbor, when I was growing up, the husband used to be not nice to his wife. And the wife also knew what buttons to press if he did something that she did not appreciate, even though she was going to pay the consequences for it. He loved meat. Actually, all of us love meat. And so if she wants to punish him, she would just cook cabbage or cook something without meat. And he would get the plate, he would literally throw it through the window. I don't know how many times they fix their windows, because he would throw the plate of food through the window because he does not see a piece of meat. So braaiing in this country is a culture, is part of who we are, it's part of our lives. Yes, there are vegetarians, yes, there are vegans, but the rest of South Africans that eat meat, I'm still trying to think between the Xhosas and the Zulus who eat more meat, but I would go with both. Tribes are big meat eaters. Now let's go to language, which is slangs and expressions. Definitely while you are in South Africa, you are going to hear one word or another that will leave you going, okay, what was that about? There are English words that mean something totally different to us. For example, we call a girl a cherry. You know, a cherry? Yeah, that to us is a girl. A guy, we call him an oak. O-K-E. That's a guy. And then the other one is your swimming suit. We call it a swimming costume or a costume. I know that in America, a costume is something that you wear on Halloween or some kind of a theme party or something like that. Mostly is Halloween. But to us, a costume is basically a swimming suit or a bathing suit, whatever the case you call it. The other one that is probably going to make you go, what? Is theater. Now, a theater to us, it is a venue where surgery are done, like operations on a human being are done. I know in America, a theater could be a movie venue or a theater where performing arts are done. We just say we're going to the movies. We don't necessarily say we're going to the movie theater. The other word that is English, but not necessarily, it is jersey. But actually it is both, it goes both ways. A jersey for us, it is a sweater to keep ourselves warm. But it can also mean a sports jersey, like a sports top, whatever the case is. But I know in America, or probably other parts of the world, a jersey simply means a sports top of some sort. So you may come across a South African while you are busy hanging out and they feel a little bit tired. They'll say, you know what, I'm dozing off. Or I'm just going to doze off. That simply means I am going to take a nap or I'm going to sleep. The eighth word that you are going to hear definitely coming from across the board is jolling. Now, jolling can mean we are in a relationship and I'm coming to check you out, and then we go out, we are jolling. It could also mean we are going grooving or going partying. And it could also mean that we are in a relationship. This one breaks my heart because something that really breaks my heart with this one. Now you have a vehicle called a bakkie. Americans, they call it a truck. Now what breaks my heart is that a Range Rover, Americans call it a truck. How do you call a Range Rover a truck? A truck to us is this. This is a truck to us. This is a bakkie. That is a truck. This is a bakkie. Can we, in 2024, say that a Range Rover is either an SUV rather than a truck? Thank you. Stays. There's a slang word that you are also going to hear, exe. Now, this one can, for me, I've always found it to be a little bit offensive, little bit. Just teensy weensy. It's not offensive. It's basically to get your attention, or maybe to get you to pay attention to something that somebody is saying. But the way it's done, it's in most of the cases, it's done with the head, like exe. You know, exe. I don't know, maybe I had a bad experience with that word. That is why I always find it a little bit offensive. When somebody says exe to me, I always go to them. It's like, bro, can you not say that? Rather just call me by my name or say, excuse me. The 11th word is yo. Now, yo is it's an exclamation of a surprise, shock, or like something that, yeah, one of those, like somebody tells you bad news and you be like, yo. Or maybe somebody sends you good news and you be like, yo. Usually we'll hold our head like, yo. Yo. Like if something maybe almost happened to you, maybe you almost got knocked down by a car, you'll be like, yo. Or something around that nature. That word yo, it could mean both negative as well as positive experience. And the other one that is very popular, and this one you're going to hear it from every South African, ish. Ish. Now, ish as well could mean positive or negative experience. A good surprise, or, okay, good news. You've been accepted, or somebody's getting married, or you found yourself a great girlfriend or boyfriend, and you be like, ish, ish, ish. I got a good one this time. But the word could be used at any part of a sentence sometimes. In most cases, it's mostly exclamation of surprise or exclamation of shock, where you be like, ish, hey, so-and-so passed away, ish, ish, hey, something ish, you know, because you were with them yesterday, and now you are hearing this news, and you're like, ish, you know, ish. That word is used in a variety of ways, but definitely you're going to hear that word. The other word that you are going to hear definitely from South Africans, and you are also going to hear it from me too, is the word shame. Yes, shame. Now, shame does not necessarily mean something negative on your character or personality. It could mean, hey, did you hear that so-and-so had a baby? And they'll be like, oh, shame. That is so nice. I know it sounds a little bit weird. The thing is with South Africans, sometimes we create words as we move along. Words such as when we say money, we might say shmoney. We might say zaga. Zaga also means money. We can say all kinds of words. There are many words around money. Definitely those words, you are definitely going to hear them. You're going to hear words such as mula. You're going to also hear words such as, what is the other one that everybody, it's recently been used here in South Africa, but I think it's a Swahili word. Machankura or something like that. Is it Swahili or is it Shona? They'll say machankura or something like that. Those are words that you would hear from South Africans. The other one, which is almost like H and yo, it is Esan. When somebody says Esan, it's like almost something happened. Ish, I almost got hit by a car. Esan. You see, I just used the word ish without actually even thinking about it. Esan, it also means an exclamation of a shock or surprise. Sometimes even good news. Esan, wow. You got in at Wits University. Esan, Harvard University took you. Ish, yeah, nice, eh? If you're a South African citizen and I do leave out some words, please comment in the comment section and contribute to the culture shocks regarding language or any other stuff that I may have left out in this video. I'll highly appreciate that. Let's help each other. Then the other word, which is the 15th word, is bra. Not the one that women wear, but bra, meaning bro or brother. It's a slang where we call each other bra or bro or brew. Afrikaners will say broer, meaning brother. So you will hear a lot of that word being used. I sometimes even use it even in the videos that I create. So there are about 6 greeting words that I also want to teach you that you are going to hear one or all of them while you are in South Africa. The first one is hola, hello. Just like how the Spanish people, when they greet, they say hola. But we will say hola, which is kind of like the same. If we don't say hola, we'll say eta, eta. If we don't say eta, we'll say shosho. If we don't say shosho, we will say shop shop. Now, shop shop can come in different ways. It could mean, are you good? Or see you later? Or I'm here? Or whatever the case might be. But shop shop. But in most cases, is when we are departing, you will hear me say shop shop. In most cases, when we are departing from meeting up, you will hear a South African say shop shop or shosho. And then off we go. The other one is fede. This one is mostly used in townships, fede, which could also means what's up. It could also means are you good? Could also means, you know, that fede. Or it could also means, okay, cool. Or it could also mean come again, like excuse me. Now let's get to the one that is going to frustrate the living daylight out of you, especially when you have relocated to South Africa or you hired a car from the airport coming into the country. Now, before I get to the rules of the road, number 1, we drive on the opposite side of the road to the people that come from the US. Our steering wheel is on the right-hand side and we drive on the other side of the road. That's the first thing that you are going to come across. If somebody comes to pick you up at the airport, do not go to the right side of the car because you will find a steering wheel in the front seat. Rather, go to the left side of the vehicle. Every time when I go and pick up or going to greet my African Americans at the airport, I always see them go to the right-hand side. And then for me, I always have my camera ready. I'm like, And then they open the driver's seat and they find the steering wheel. And the shock on the face is always priceless. I love it. I'm sorry to pick on you like this, guys, but I love y'all. Now, let's get to the rules of the road. Immediately you get out of the airport, or maybe now you are in a vehicle in South Africa. It's an Uber, a Bolt, or whatever the case might be, and you see this. You see this? This is the boss of the road. These guys, they don't care about the rules of the road. They are called taxis. Yeah, public transport. Taxis. These guys will go through a red traffic light. These guys will overtake you in the most dangerous way, shocking and even upsetting. The best thing for you to do is to just relax. Don't entertain them. Don't look them in the eye and say nothing. Don't block them if they want to overtake you. It doesn't matter how tiny the space. I'm serious. It doesn't matter how small the space is on the road. They will find a way. Do it like how you would do an ambulance that is with a siren on. You find a space for it to pass, right? Same goes with these guys. You do the same thing. Even the traffic cops in this country, all over the country, they don't mess with them. They don't even talk to them. They don't even see. They pretend not to have seen them crossing a red traffic light. They are terrible. Okay, I'm not going to say sorry. I almost said something. I don't want to get myself into trouble with them, but they are the bosses of the road. So yours is to do for your own peace of mind is not to entertain them. Just get out of their way and you'll be fine. The other culture shock that you are going to come across, most of our vehicles, they have a stick shift, which we call a gear here in South Africa. I know in the US, the last time you guys had cars like that was somewhere in the late 90s, because most of American cars are automatic. I'm not quite sure other parts of the diaspora. I know that the UK, they drive the same way as we drive. They also have stick shift cars and things like that. I don't like a stick shift car because I learned how to drive with it and it frustrated the living daylight out of me. But I know how to drive a stick shift car, but I prefer an automatic. I know that most American vehicles, in fact, all American vehicles, they are automatic rather than stick shifts. So that's another culture shock that you may encounter. So if you are planning to hire a car at the airport when you land, try and learn or remind yourself how to drive a stick shift car while you are still in America, or while you're still in Canada, or wherever you may be in the world coming to South Africa. However, though, if you ask for an automatic car, you will get it as well. Another culture shock that I also noticed when my African American friends and we are in a vehicle and we are coming back from Groove around 2 in the morning and traffic cops are all over the show looking for drunken drivers, is that the passengers, every one of us from the front seat to the back seat, we can have our alcohol drinks in our hands and the traffic cops will not say a thing to us. We will not be in trouble. However, that driver is not allowed to drink and drive. That is an automatic jail time and the car gets impounded by the traffic cops. The rest of us, if we agree, we can literally be drinking while the cop is talking to the driver. Like pop drunk, like drunk to a pulp, and still drinking while the traffic cop is talking to the driver. They're not going to do anything to you or to the driver. But they will focus on the driver if they are sober. If they're also drunk, of course, they are in trouble. Now, this is what we call a garage or a garage or garage. It depends which part of South Africa you are at and what race you are talking to when they're pronouncing this word. I call it a garage. Some people say garage, other people call it garage. But also we call it a petrol garage or petrol station. Now I know that in the US, this is called a gas station. Now gas to us, we call it petrol. That's another thing that you are going to learn. And once you get to the garage station, you are going to come across what you would call a garage petrol attendant. You don't get out of your car and start pumping your own gas in your car. There are people that are going to do that. We call them petrol attendants. They are the ones who take over. They just come up to you and ask you what type of gas or petrol that you want. Is it diesel? Is it petrol? And then whatever the ranges they call them into your vehicle. And then they just open that, whatever you call that place where the gas tank stays, and they pump you your gas. While they're pumping your gas, they will also be looking at other things on your vehicle. If your windscreen is a little bit dirty, they clean it for you. And they will check your tires if the air is still good. If the air is not good, they'll let you know and ask if they can pump your tires. If you say cool, they will ask you, I don't know what those wrench things they call them for the tires. And then they'll fill up your tires all for free. You can give them a tip if you want to, but you're not obligated. All for free. They will bring you a speed point or a card machine. You tap or you insert your card, pay for the gas or petrol as we call it, and off you go your merry way. Now let's talk about fences. This one can go in one of two ways. There are one or two reasons why we have fences around our homes. If you come to South Africa, you are going to see many homes with fences on. I don't know who said this. I think it's a poet, Ulysses, who said, fences make good neighbors. Indeed, they do make good neighbors, but let me tell you the differences about our fencing in South Africa. Yes, it can be for security. The ones for security are very obvious. They are the ones with high walls, and on top of the wall, you either have these spikes on. If they are not spikes, you will have barbed wire. If you don't have barbed wire, you are going to have an extra layer of electrical fence on top. When it rains, you can literally hear the electricity snapping. So that is for the purposes of security. And then when you get into the yard of this high wall security house, you will also find an automatic gate. Somebody, of course, you're going to have to buzz from the outside that I'm outside. They automatically open the gate. You get into the yard itself. It has some other security features. The door would have a burglar gate. And then when you enter the house after a burglar gate, you may see one or two more burglar gates inside the house. Those burglar gates are to prevent intruders from entering into the bedrooms. They must just only end up at the living room and the kitchen, but not in the bedroom. That also buys you time if indeed intruders come into your house to call the police, etc. and so on. Extra security layer is alarms as well. Before you go to bed, you turn on the alarm so that if intruders come, the alarm goes off, triggering the securities to come and investigate or whatever the case might be. So that's for security. Now, there's the other side of fences. Now, these fences that I'm going to talk about, you mostly find them in townships. These fences don't necessarily mean that it's for security. In most cases, it's stop nonsense. It's like, this is where your yard, your next door neighbor's yard starts and ends, and this is where my yard starts and also ends, respectively. But because in the township, we are mostly community-based, we are able to see each other. We are able to look after each other's homes when the other one is not around. We are able to also check what's going on in the home of my neighbor in case there's something suspicious that is going on, because that's how we are. We love each other like that. We are a family. That particular street, they may have these stop nonsense fences, but we still love and care about each other. Yes, now and again, we would fight each other, not talk to each other for months on end, but at the end of the day, we still will attend each other's funerals, we'll attend each other's parties, we'll attend each other's new baby that is born. We will celebrate everything that is happening, either the neighbors or across the road neighbors or the back end neighbors or whatever the case might be, because we are community based. So we don't put high walls and block each other from seeing each other, and you don't even know what's going on the other side. I'm not saying that there such walls don't exist in the township, but there are very few of them. Now let's get to food and drinks. Earlier on, I did say that for African Americans and other African diasporans that come to South Africa, I think most of y'all are going to anyway come with dollars, but I will advise you, once you land in South Africa, so you come out of Ora Tambo International, I don't know about Cape Town International or Durban or King Shaka International, but in Ora Tambo, when you come out into the area where the arrivals, turn to your left. Yeah, turn to your left. You will see Bidvests. Go into Bidvest and exchange your dollars into rands. It becomes way, in fact, not even cheaper. It's free. Rather than paying in dollars once you are inside of the country, exchange your dollars into rands. That way, it's a peace of mind for you, and also you do not get extra charges, etc., and so on. And then once you are done on your left-hand side, right across opposite, you will see MTN. Go get yourself a SIM card. Immediately when you land, go get yourself a SIM card. Now let's get to food and drinks. Your money, you can stretch it as far as you want. So first things first, that I want you to understand about our food and drinks in South Africa and why our food is so healthy. I want to read you something from the South African government when it comes to GMO regulation and use in South Africa. This is what the government says. That genetically modified organism plants are highly regulated in South Africa. Came into force in 1999. The use of GMO technology in South Africa. And in South Africa, it has been highly successful. And I understand that in order for you as a farmer to put GMO in your food, you need to seek permission from the government to participate in such activity. So in other words, what I'm trying to say is GMO food in our country is very minute. Most of it is organic. That is why you would hear African Americans that visit South Africa will tell you about how fresh and different our food tastes, simply because it is healthier. I don't recall ever going to Woolworths or any other, or maybe Woolworths might have, but I don't recall going to any grocery department in our stores where I came across a section that says organic only. I've never, ever. Why? Because it's not necessary. If ever there is such, then I personally, as a South African citizen, I would want to know why, and probably even report that to government. But I do know that Woolworths does have a tiny section of organic. That means 100% organic produce or something like that. That means maybe some of their food may be GMO'd. I don't know. However, the food that I have seen that have GMO usually are foods that are imported from the US or Europe or other parts of the world. So when it comes to prices of food, I have seen where a group of us, like maybe 8 of us, we buy food, different plates, different cuisines of food in a nice restaurant. And guess what the price will be for 8 people? The highest amount that I've seen on a bill was $40 for 8 people. We had drinks, not just 1 round, not 2 rounds, probably 3 rounds, and then the food that we ate, no more than $45 for all 8 of us. And I will hear stories like in America, that could have easily been $110, $120 for all of us. So that's another thing that is a culture shock that I enjoy seeing in the faces of my African American brothers and sisters when the bill comes, because in most cases I carry my own card and I pay for my own food. Yes, I do. But in most cases, I'll be blocked from paying for myself. They'll be like, no, I have this one, simply because the bill is not what they expected. Even though I prefer to pay my own way, I'll be told, no, this one is on me. Why? Because the bill was like way below what they expected the price would have been. Then when it comes to our liquor stores are separate from the shopping stores, except for Woolworths. If you go to Woolworths, but they only sell wines in Woolworths. You're not going to find different kinds of alcoholic drinks. So you will find a shop like ShopRite or a shop like Spar, a shop like Pick and Pay. They have their own liquor store, which is separate from the grocery store itself. It will be not too far away from the grocery store. Probably it will be like 3 or 4 stores away from the main store. And then you just go in there. Again, our alcoholic drinks are inexpensive from what I have witnessed with my African American brothers and sisters that are here in South Africa or visit South Africa. Now, once you sit in a restaurant, there is no time limit in our restaurants. You can sit for as long as you want. However, though, it's still very important that you exercise the principle of Ubuntu. If you come to a restaurant, you yourself, before you entered, you had to stand in a queue or a line to get in. So do the same thing when the restaurant is full and then you're all done eating. Let other people as well get the chance to have and enjoy their meal by leaving. So if the restaurant is not full, you can sit there for as long as you want. Nobody's going to come and say, well, guys, you've been sitting here for 2 hours. We have other people to come in. Nobody will do that. Nobody will come to you and tell you that. But apparently, I don't know what's going on in the US. You get told. Sometimes you get pressured with the bill being placed on your table the moment you are done eating and basically assigned to say, now, thank you, you can go. Here, that doesn't happen. The reason why this doesn't happen here in South Africa, like I said, we are community-based people. We believe that if I'm going to hang out with you at a restaurant, or we're going to be hanging out as a group of friends in a restaurant, we are there to spend quality time. We are there for each other. And another thing that you will see with us, we'll never be on our phones while we are in a restaurant. We take our phones, either switch them off or put them on silent or vibration, and we are present with each other. Why? Because we are community-based people. Now, once you are done eating and you are ready to go, your card or your credit card or your bank card or whatever it is that you are going to pay with, nobody takes it with them to the back of the restaurant. In fact, the waiter that was serving you will come with the card machine, hand it over to you. Either you tap or you insert your card, you get paid. You pay and then you get a receipt. But very important that you understand that you pay 10% of what you spent to the waiter. 10%. It's okay if you want to increase it. It's up to you. Gratuity, it has no price as far as I'm concerned. But if you got yourself a good waiter that was attentive, that was engaging, that was loving, and made you feel welcome and comfortable, and also served you the best way they know how, then I don't think it's any problem for you to say, okay, I will increase the 10% maybe to whatever you feel like it. Because I have seen with my own two eyes when my African American brothers and sisters are served and they loved the service. They usually tip more than 10%. I don't have an issue with that. But just so you know, it's 10% of what you spent. Now let's talk about this last one. It's a little bit funny for me because it looks like we have a lot in common now, especially with African Americans. Again, guys, the reason why I am making reference of African Americans in this video is because those are the people thus far I've been exposed to. Yes, I know that there are other African diasporans that are coming to South Africa. I think I did tell you that I finally met a black British brother that came down to South Africa. But come on, guys, if you are coming from elsewhere as an African diasporan, let me know. My email address is under the about of this channel. Let me know that you are coming through, and then we can set up a time for us to hang out, right? So that is why I'm making reference of African Americans, because those are the people that I get to experience. So remember, this channel is all about my experiences and observations, not about things that I have not gone through or experienced yet. I'm not going to talk about something that I know nothing about. Now let's talk about measurement of time. Do you know what I mean by that? I know African Americans are as terrible as South Africans. The funny thing about South Africans is that with this one, it goes across all races. When it comes to keeping time, appointments, good luck. Now, these are some terms that we would use. There are 4 of them. Pay attention so that you understand when you come across a South African and say one of these 4 phrases, you must understand what they could actually mean. There's now, there's now, there's just now, and there's right now. Now let's break it down. Basically, now means anytime between the next hour and tomorrow morning, if I remembered. That's what I mean now. If I say now, it's anything between an hour and 12 hours or somewhere in between. If I say just now, it just simply means I just got out of bed, I'm going to take a shower, have my breakfast, watch some news, then do my hair if I have to do my hair if I'm a woman, and then get into the vehicle, go and fill up my gas, get my car washed, and then once I'm done with my car being washed, then I come to you. So that will be anything between an hour and 6-7 hours, or anything in between. And then right now, you would think when somebody says right now, they mean like 10 minutes. No, it doesn't mean that. It simply means anything between an hour and the next 6 hours or 4 hours. So in other words, what I'm trying to say is when you come across a South African and you make some kind of appointment with them and you hear these words, relax. Take a chill pill. Even go as far as telling yourself, I'll see them tomorrow. It's crazy. So there was a time, I don't know I forgot what you guys Americans call it, but it's something similar to this. They were telling me about black time or African American time, and they said, "Oh, African Americans, they take it's worse." Then I was like, "Let me educate you about right now, and just now, their jaws were on the floor. Like what? Like yeah, we take the cup when it comes to time management. Appointments are important to us. For example, appointment with the doctor, we are there on time. Appointment with the lawyer, we are there on time. But appointments with each other, like in an informal setting, take a chill pill. If you get a call from me and I say I'll be there right now and you are naked in the bathroom, take your time, take a full bath, take a shower even, and then go water your garden, cook breakfast or dinner. It's not going to happen right now. I'm not going to be there right now. So there are some people that take time and appointments very serious. They are punctual, but even themselves, they get frustrated. And so, you know, to say if it's too hot in the kitchen, you know, sometimes they end up joining because it's just not working being punctual. The other one that I want to tell you is never trust a South African who is on a cell phone and tell you that they are around the corner, because they're not. They haven't even left their place yet. I'm not even sure if they've even taken a bath yet. So never trust a South African on a cell phone and tell you that I'll be there right now or I'm around the corner. They're not. Except for me. Then some South Africans are a little bit sneaky when it comes to specification, when it comes to time. Some will say, okay, I'll see you later, or I'll see you, or we'll talk. They simply don't want to commit to a specific time. If I say I'm going to be there at 2, expect me at least 3:30, 4:30. Stace knows this very well. I'm so sorry. And it has irritated him many a times before. I'm sorry, my friend. I'm just a South African. Now, let's talk about malls and shopping centers and time that they close. In South Africa, malls close at 8. Sometimes they close at 5. It all depends on the time of the month. Of course, at the end of the month, from the 25th all the way to the probably 5th of a new month, the malls will open all the way till probably around 9 o'clock at night. But in most cases, the ultimate time is 8 o'clock. Malls are closed. Talking about the shops are closed. The mall might not close at 8. You can still walk about up until probably 11, I think. And then the mall closes as a whole. But shops, they close at 8. I understand that in America, in most shops, it's 24 hours. Pharmacies pharmacies, 24 hours here. No, 4 o'clock, they're all gone. Yes, pharmacies by 4 o'clock p.m., they are closed and gone. Some at 5 o'clock if they want to stretch to an hour. Now, the reason why all of this is happening is because of family time. Remember, I told you earlier that with South Africans, community is very important, but family is even more important. The reason why these shops close a little bit earlier is because the workers need to get home on time. Some they live a little bit further from work, but they need to get home on time before their children go to bed. Again, family is extremely important to South Africans, not just black people, but all races in South Africa. They like to be home, kicking their feet on a coffee table, watching television or doing homework with their children before they go to bed. So that's one of the reasons why they close around that time. Imagine working 24 hours. You don't get to see your children when they return from school because you have to get up, rush, get dressed, and run to work. I'm not saying there are places where it's not 24. Most gas stations or petrol stations, they run 24 hours. And they also do have convenience stores in them as well. As for medication, either you go to ER at a hospital somewhere, which is nearest to you, because if you go to a pharmacy, it will be closed. The last culture shock, which I always appreciate with such pleasure, is customer service. The shock look on my friends' faces when they see how friendly, how engaging, how loving, how attentive our customer service is all across the board. Now, I want to say something that probably might not sit well with some people. If you get that sort of service in South Africa, where the person that is serving you has a soft expression on their faces and they have a smile, big white smile on their faces, and engaging you, and also telling you whatever questions or answering any questions that you may have. For example, you go to a bar and they're mixing you a cocktail. So if you want to know what ingredients are they putting, they will tell you with pleasure what they are busy mixing. They will educate you about the process. The mixologist will teach you the process with a huge smile on their faces, even give you some taste, some little bit taste, like, how does it taste like? Do you want more alcohol? Do I lessen the alcohol? What do you want? All that stuff. You know that you're being served by a South African, because customer service to South Africans is of paramount importance. And it's not because we are having visitors, but because of Ubuntu as well, doing it to each other, horizontal rather than vertical, where you have a visitor coming to South Africa being served by a South African. Horizontally as well, South African to South African. That is how we treat each other. We treat each other with soft faces, with smiles on our faces, as well as with passion, compassion, if it's something that needs some kind of empathy or sympathy. If it's about pleasure, hey, we will take you through it all with a big smile on your face. However, though, if you come across the opposite of what I'm saying to you, that's not a South African that you came across. I'm sorry. And lastly, in South Africa, we do not have a negotiation culture. If you find yourself going somewhere where you have to negotiate the price, just know that you are not dealing with a South African at all, because our prices in this country, they are set. We have set prices. They are fixed, basically. So there's no negotiation. You can't walk into a store and you see a certain item and then you start negotiating it out. It's not going to work for you at all. It's not going to work for you, because the price is there. You can see how much this item costs. And then you just have to take out that money and pay as per the item's price. But if you come across elsewhere where they are negotiating with you, you're not dealing with a South African store. Anyways, guys, that is all that I wanted to bring to your attention regarding some culture shocks that you are going to come across when you visit or relocate to South Africa as an African diasporan. South Africans, please, if I left out some things, I know I left out a lot, please help me out here by leaving it in the comment section. I will highly appreciate that. We are all in this together. All of us are in this together. South Africans, the African diasporans, we are all in this together. Please, whatever you do, do not leave this video without smashing the like button for me. And if you are watching without subscribing, please also consider subscribing to the channel and then click the bell notification so that you get notified every time I upload a new video. My PayPal stuff and everything else is in the description box, because I do get asked about this all the time. Thank you so much to everybody that is sending me some PayPal gifts. I highly appreciate it. May God bless you guys abundantly. That is my prayer to you. It's something that I say every single night before I go to bed, that God must open the floodgates and bless you abundantly for what you do for my channel, because supporting my channel financially also helps me to entertain my African American brothers and sisters that are coming here, also those that are coming to South Africa and want to hang out with me. That money helps a lot. I appreciate you so very much. Like I said, we are all in this together. I do also have a VPN, by the way. It's an affiliate with Etsy. You know, okay, let's do it. Let's make a deal. Let's make a deal. I need to make a sale because sooner or later they're going to take it away. Can you take membership or subscription fee just for this month? And then you can unsubscribe later, please, because I need that history. I know I'm asking for a lot. It's an affiliate with Etsy, a VPN called Ivacy. I would highly appreciate that. Thank you. Just for 1 month. Just 1 month. And then you can unsubscribe after that. I'll highly appreciate it. See you next time. Goodbye.